Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something that's literally redefining the modern workplace. For decades, right, the narrative, whether in pop culture or on the factory floor, has been that machines are coming to replace us. But the reality? It's actually so much more fascinating and, honestly, incredibly collaborative. Think about it. The most revolutionary tool in modern industry doesn't want to replace you, it just wants to hand you a wrench. We're looking at the rise of cobots, and we're going to dive deep into how they're built from the ground up to assist, empower, and really work alongside us humans. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for today's explainer. We're going to meet your new coworker, trace the evolution of cobots, see how they integrate into workflows, look at the strategic benefits for business, and finally explore the future of collaboration. All right, section 1, meet your new coworker, the collaborative robot. So it's time to completely challenge that traditional image you might have of industrial automation. Close your eyes for a sec and picture the old factory floor. Giant, sparks-flying machines bolted to the ground, surrounded by those heavy yellow cages. They were incredibly dangerous, totally separated from the human workforce, mostly because they just blindly executed their code. They had absolutely no idea if a person stepped in the way. But to grasp how much things have changed, we really need to define what a cobot actually is. Short for collaborative robot, it is exactly that, collaborative. This is a massive paradigm shift. They are engineered specifically to work alongside you as a partner. So imagine a robotic arm that acts way less like heavy machinery and more like a highly precise, tireless apprentice right there at your workbench.
So on one hand, you've got the past, right? Isolated, dangerous industrial behemoths locked behind safety fences, operating in a total vacuum. And on the other hand, you have the present. We're talking compact, incredibly safe cobots passing parts directly into a human hand. Literally. This isn't just a minor upgrade in machinery, it's a fundamental change in how we even view automation. We're essentially taking the robot out of the cage and making it an active, helpful team member sharing your workspace.
Now, you might be wondering, how exactly do they pull off this safe interaction? Let's walk through the key differentiators. First up, and absolutely crucial, are the safety features. With a traditional robot, if you bump into it, you're probably taking a trip to the ER. But cobots, they're packed with these highly sensitive force-torque sensors. If a cobot bumps into you, it literally feels like a gentle tap from a coworker, and the machine stops instantly. No cage is required whatsoever. Second is flexibility. Unlike those legacy systems built to do one single motion for, say, 10 years, cobots can be easily reprogrammed, often by the very humans they're assisting, to tackle multiple different tasks. Third is accessibility. Because they are so cost-effective, they aren't just for the massive automotive giants anymore. They are highly affordable for small and medium enterprises. And finally, mobility. They are remarkably lightweight. You can literally mount a cobot on a rolling cart, wheel it over to your station to help with a heavy lifting task for the afternoon, and then just roll it somewhere else tomorrow. How cool is that?
Moving right along to section 2, the evolution of cobots from 1996 to today. The timeline of this text shows a surprisingly fast journey from academic theory to everyday utility. The very concept of the collaborative robot, well, that was only introduced back in 1996 by researchers J. Edward Colgate and Michael Peshkin. But things really started heating up in 2008 when Universal Robots launched the UR5. That was a real game changer because it effectively democratized cobot adoption, proving that a safe, lightweight robot was commercially viable. Fast forward to the 2020s, and this is where it gets wild. This is when cobots started integrating with AI, the Internet of Things, and adaptive learning. This transformed them from just programmable tools into highly strategic coworkers. I mean, what does a learning robot actually mean for you? It means your cobot actually learns your specific pacing and preferences over time. And today, widespread use. They aren't just stuck in manufacturing. They're actively assisting human workers in healthcare, logistics, and even your standard office environments. And honestly, this brings us to the ultimate human-centric takeaway of our explainer today. By taking over the dull, dirty, or dangerous tasks, endlessly sorting packages, tightening thousands of screws, or doing repetitive lab work, cobots hand us back our time. They directly assist human workers by freeing up our mental energy, allowing us to step back and focus on what humans inherently do best, and that is creativity, complex problem solving, and driving real innovation. Which leads us to section 3, integrating cobots into workflows. So, a robotic arm resting on a desk is a marvel of engineering, sure, but it really needs a digital brain to truly assist a modern workforce. Think of it this way. A robotic arm can lift a heavy box, right? But a digital brain knows exactly which box needs lifting, where it's supposed to go, and how moving that specific box helps the human team hit their daily production goals. And this is exactly where leaders in digital transformation step in. Firms like Rasta Infotech serve as that crucial bridge, integrating these physical cobots with enterprise IT solutions like AI, SAP, and broader automation services.
Let's detail how these specific integrations take a simple piece of hardware and turn it into a comprehensive tool that actually makes our lives easier. Take SAP automation, for example. Here, businesses are smoothing out entire workflows. Instead of a human worker doing mind-numbing data entry right after a cobot finishes a task, the cobot just logs it automatically into the system. Boom, done. Then there's AI services, applying machine learning and natural language processing. What does that actually mean for you? Well, it means a human worker can literally just talk to their cobot to give it instructions. It makes the tech feel like a true coworker rather than some confusing machine you need a computer science degree to operate. They also tackle cybersecurity, which gives you peace of mind when deploying these network-connected machines in sensitive enterprise environments. And get this, they're even utilizing cobots to handle automated content workflows in digital marketing. It's all about full-scale enterprise automation that supports the human team at every single level.
All right, Section 4, Strategic Benefits and Their Impact on Business.
Now, what's really interesting here is that when you introduce this tech, the impact on the bottom line is immediate and multifaceted. First up, we see serious cost efficiency. We're talking a much lower upfront investment compared to legacy industrial robots. Remember, no cages or massive facility redesigns required. Next, and I'd argue this is the most important one, is human-centric productivity. We touched on this earlier, but it absolutely cannot be overstated. By removing those boring, manual tasks, you get a massive boost in human morale. When workers aren't totally exhausted by repetition, their creativity just surges, and that directly drives company revenue and innovation. Then there's scalability, since these lightweight units are super easy to deploy and redeploy across various industries. And finally, resilience. Because cobots can keep physical, routine tasks moving smoothly, they actively support modern hybrid workforce models, where humans might be managing operations both on-site and remotely.
This brings us to our final stop, Section 5, the future of collaboration in the Industry 4.0 ecosystem. Moving forward, we are looking at the true Industry 4.0 ecosystem. Cobots are going to evolve into completely contextually aware coworkers. But let's strip away the corporate jargon for a second. What does a contextually aware coworker actually look like? Imagine a cobot that notices you're running low on a specific part at your workstation. Instead of you having to stop your workflow, log into a computer, and put in a request, the cobot automatically orders more via the Internet of Things network in real time. It's capable of adaptive decision-making on the fly, reacting to changes in the environment, or directly to you. This is driven by deep, seamless integration with advanced AI and even blockchain technologies for secure supply chain tracking. This convergence right here, this is exactly what will make them indispensable to the human workforce. But to harness this level of complex technology effectively, businesses usually can't just go it alone. Strategic partners like Rasta Infotech are really positioning themselves as vital guides in this transformation. Their expertise ensures that businesses can deploy cobots to achieve safety, efficiency, and continuous innovation. But the core reminder here, the overarching goal of all this integration in AI isn't to phase humans out. Actually, scratch that. It's the exact opposite. It's about building a workplace where human creativity, ingenuity, and problem-solving remain the absolute most valued and protected assets in the room. So the rise of cobots marks a total paradigm shift from isolated, rigid machines to adaptable, collaborative partners completely dedicated to assisting us. It's an incredibly exciting new frontier for how we work. So I'll leave you with this thought. As automation makes this shift, the question isn't whether robots will take our jobs. The real question is, are you ready to welcome a contextually aware robotic coworker to your team?